The 4-day work week. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC about this brilliant new innovation, the 4-day work week. Now, I don't know why this is getting in the news because this 4-day work week has existed all the time. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the 4-day work week. Now, it's kind of related. It's kind of related to things like this. A slowdown in building approvals. A slowdown in economic growth. Okay? Because when times get tough, businesses often have to institute this fantastic concept of cutting hours to reduce costs. Okay, that's where it exists. That's where it happens. Many businesses have had to do it during tough times, particularly in the architecture game. Happened to Rachel when she was employee. You know, their practice work ran down. They had to cut hours. Lots of people get hours cut. We've had to do it. We had to get the boys when it was quiet. Okay, sorry lads, we've got to cut you down to only a few days a week. And I didn't get an article in ABC News saying about my fantastic innovation or concept. So maybe this is just me being a cynical bastard, seeing this and thinking, yeah, okay, it's all spin. It's all spin of a firm reducing its costs. Or maybe they are artificially increasing people's, giving them a pay rise without any additional cost to them just by cutting their hours. So we'll have to have a look. Aussie firms, No Work Wednesday concept goes global. And I'm sure ABC would love this idea. They would love this idea. Wouldn't you rather have No Work Friday or No Work Monday? But I guess all the deadlines are Friday and Monday. Well, Monday you get a kick and deadlines are Friday. So, digital agency Versa shuts its doors every Wednesdays. Employees at the busy maker of apps, augmented reality products and websites work 37 hours a week over 4 days in a radical 20-month experiment that has seen profit and productivity soar. Okay, so they're not actually reducing hours. They're just working longer shifts on 4 days a week, which a lot of people do, guys, as well. They negotiate that with their bosses. What if you don't want to do that? So you can negotiate that. I got a friend who does the same thing. I did that as well. I'd negotiated when I was living on the Gold Coast as a student. I would start at 10:30 to avoid the traffic here in Brisbane. That was, yeah. Okay, wow. This isn't innovative. I guess to ABC. I guess to people in these type of organizations that don't understand how the free market works, or you don't have, other people negotiating on your behalf. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm just too cynical, guys. I'm just too cynical. I'm getting too old. After ABC's The Business interviewed Chief Executive Catherine Blackham in April last year, she said things got crazy. A lot has happened since then, laughed Miss Blackham, reciting a schedule that has seen her lecture UK members of Parliament, win international awards, present at conferences, and cop an inbox overflowing with corporate human resource leaders wanting to catch up on the project. What? How? Why? Why? Seriously, why? I don't see anything impressive about this. Everyone's been doing it. It's probably her ability. The thing is her ability to turn this into something marketable. That's what's impressive, and that's what we can all learn from. I mean, she's getting all, lectures. So that I'm really impressed with Miss Blackham there. That's bloody good. Getting all this airtime over something that's, and I bet they work from home on Wednesdays if they've got to do extra work. It's smart, very smart. The concept is brutally simple. On Wednesday at Versa, there are no client meetings, no deliveries, no pitches to clients, and no expectations of checking emails. So is the business closed? After a year that data was in. So no, they're still working then, are they? Or they're just... Anyway, we had 3 times more profitability than we had last year. We had grown by 30 or 40% in the last year in terms of revenue. And we've got happier staff who are more productive, Ms. Blackham said in April. So all of the factors that you would have thought would have gone down because we're working 20% less. No, you're not. You're not working 20% less. You're still working 37.5 hours. You're just condensing it. I don't understand. You're not working 20% less. This is incorrect. You're just doing it in a 4-day week. I mean, am I reading this wrong, guys? Is 37.5 hours a full-time week? I know a lot of people work more, and you have to. Okay, so in theory, working 1 day less, or we're doing longer days than the other days. Actually, we've seen them increase dramatically. About to head off on a summer break, Ms. Blackham reflected that the company's shift had reverberated across the advertising industry and beyond. Well, there you go. More importantly for me, it really started a conversation about how we're going to move forward in the industry, she said. But there's been the most interest outside of the industry rather than inside it. So the 4-day week makes waves in the UK. Much interest has come from the United Kingdom after the BBC syndicated the ABC's April report about Versa. Ms. Blackham spoke to MPs and leaders of UK Labour. Why? Why bother? Leaders of UK Labour. I mean, come on. I was impressed before, but she's talking to UK Labour. I mean, they're a laughing stock. You know, about her experience as the party took a policy of 10-year transition to it. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with this, where the politicians want to dictate this to the state, to private enterprise, forcing you to do a 4-day week. That's the issue. That is the biggest issue, you know? And, you know, Labour was trounced, although it seemed unlikely. Yeah, okay. That is the biggest problem with this here. We shouldn't be calling for government to impose these rules on businesses, to force you to limit working. In France, there are certain bakeries that get shut down or fined if they cook bread on the weekend. It's ludicrous. If you work too many hours, you'll get fined. That is insane. Because I'm sure a lot of people will love this. But I can bet you a carton there will be people that will come in on Wednesday in that business and will work extra bloody hard. Because they want to climb up, they want to achieve more, they want to earn those bonuses. And I wonder how many of those people are the ones that contributed to that 40% growth. Maybe just the day without all the BS in the office. Maybe the annoying office admin that puts all the garbage and BS on you isn't there on Wednesday, so you get a lot of work done. Okay, no offense to office admins, but sometimes the office rules just get in the way of getting stuff done. Can you all understand why I started my own business and why I don't like working in these corporate environments? Oh, the amount of time you waste eating cake and pretending to like people that are just. I worked in IT support and architecture practice, my first ever job as a student. So yeah, I'm damaged. So they'd be going to do it for the office staff, but not the leadership team, she said. I told them straight out that's not going to work because if the leadership team are present, it just cascades down from there. Ms. Blackham had 2 small children when she founded the business a decade ago. She made multiple attempts to build flexibility for staff, such as giving people random or fixed days. But the need to work in collaborative teams across projects meant it didn't work. Yes, I understand that. Just over 18 months ago, she shut the door on Tuesday night and closed the office until Thursday morning. Beyond happier, less stressed staff, the first thing Ms. Blackham noticed from having too many weekends was renewed focus and intensity during all 4 days the office was open. But what if you don't want to work extra hours on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday? I know a lot of workplaces have kind of those Monday morning feels where there's a bit of a vibe in the office. People are bantering back and forth. And in the end, you get the kind of hump day on Wednesday, which is a little bit harder to beat, she said. By the time we get to Thursday, it's like a Monday again. You get a new feeling of enthusiasm and cracking on with work and collaboration. Haters equate fewer hours to laziness. I wouldn't say I hate this idea. I'm really impressed with her ability to turn such a simple idea into marketing. I'm not impressed that she was talking to Labour. I mean, okay, in the UK, guys, seriously, just look at some of their policies. I think there's one member running who had 2 left shoes on. And I don't know if that was a meme because it was in several photos. But anyway, I wouldn't be surprised. This hasn't prevented criticism, which the agency owner puts down to fear of change. We've had a lot of backlash, she said. We've recently cleaned up an industry awards night in Singapore. there was a bit of negative statement, a push again, against, there's still a real feeling that, yes, it works for you, but it wouldn't work for us. Or because advertising people know there needs to be, it needs to be succinct, the haters love to hate. The key issue is a perception that Versa staff are lazy, Ms. Blackham said. People equate fewer hours to lazy, but it's not fewer hours, or more people in the industry working much higher. That's probably the thing. They work hours they need. I've just made it harder to work much more. And that is a smart idea. That is a smart idea. We had staff, particularly international staff. We had one Korean guy, and it's interesting. It was a cultural difference, definitely a cultural difference. He had a lot of, felt quite unusual taking direction from a pregnant boss, and he would work insane hours. He'd be a great little worker bee, but he wouldn't be doing anything. He'd be wasting time, so much time wasted. You know, I guess it's just something people have to learn. So initially, Versa's managing director, Johnny Clow, had worked at large global advertising agencies and was convinced a shorter work week was not going to work. With most jobs in advertising running 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. as standard, he could see how the loss could be made up. I mean, there you go. Look at those hours, guys. Look at those hours. But then again, that's, I can't say architecture is any better. We're probably notorious for terrible hours. I mean, I record my videos in the morning and I work all day. I'll have my gym session, which is now on day 2, hashtag control your health, and then work till night, usually till 10 to midnight, particularly if I got a lot on. So, I mean, yeah, I can't really talk about long hours. To lose a whole day, 20% of revenues, you know, it's hard for us to make money as it is. This is a people business, so to think that you're not earning, that was a shock, he said in April. Logically, he said, you will consider a 4-day work week to end on Thursday, creating a long weekend each week. However, creating 2 short weeks means staff treat Friday as a proper working day and schedule medical appointments and similar events on Wednesday. There you go. I'm very used to, as an Englishman, going in with the doom and gloom you have on Monday and Suicide Tuesday, he said. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, that's just the weather that your civilization has been accustomed to. And all that kind of stuff just goes away. The office environment is a Hummer focus ham. What the hell am I saying? But you can feel the difference. Milo, the cavadoodle, wanders around. Staff break off into meetings, and 2 staff hold a yoga session in one of the small meeting rooms during the lunch hour. This year, industry publication Ad News crowned the Melbourne agency its Employer of the Year, and it had gone on to place 7th in the Great Places to Work survey. It was the top ad agency on the list. Well, there you go. So, and again, this is the problem, guys. I have no issue with private businesses choosing to do this. Not at all. I mean, also, you got to think all the public servants, a lot of them here in Queensland, there would be so many that use flexible full-time, or, you know, flexible hours to essentially get a 4-day week. You get people coming in half an hour every day, reading the paper, claiming all that. It was ludicrous. Nonetheless, back to this. This is the problem if the government start forcing it on businesses. Other countries trying shorter work weeks. University of Melbourne Professor of Management, Peter Gahan, said average working hours were creeping up in Australia at the same time as a growing population of people reported underemployment and a desire for more hours. International examples are mixed. To redress unemployment in France, the standard work week has been reduced to 35 hours. Some local government areas in Sweden have been experimenting with shorter work weeks for the same reason and to improve well-being for employees. France had a short-term effect where, in fact, we saw unemployment rates for different groups, particularly young people, begin to fall, but that wasn't sustained over time. Oh boy, government intervention into the economy doesn't work. Shock, horror, gasp. Let's just bring up this one chart for no reason. I know it's not government, but still. There have also been concerns about labour costs hampering the ability of France to compete within the European Union and globally, and big businesses pushing back on the regulation. In Sweden, the jury is still out, he said. An experiment in major regional city, Gothenburg, saw reduced working hours for some workers to compare them to workers whose hours were not reduced. The preliminary result from the experiment suggested, in fact, they were able to maintain productivity levels, by and large, and there were some benefits for workers in terms of well-being and other types of outcomes, he said. So fear of trusting staff to do the right thing. 50, 60, even 70-hour weeks are not uncommon in service industries, even if they are proven to be inefficient. Catherine Blackham said it is natural for firms to be resistant to a radical idea like hers. It comes down to one word, and that's fear, she said. And I think that's fear of having to trust your staff that they're going to do the right thing. Peter Gahan said innovative approaches like Versus could help with attracting and retaining skilled staff. We do see, if you like, a range of effects that come through that mean that a reduction in working hours doesn't mean there's a proportionate reduction in productivity, he observed. In fact, through the course of these effects, you can get improvements in productivity, improvements in efficiency, and a lowering of your production costs as a consequence. The future for changing employment models to include flexible work hours is strong, she said. Appearing on radio, elicited copious examples of companies working 4 days a week, enforcing a day from home policy, and offering different strategies to get work done alongside people's other commitments and passions. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. There has to be a bit of give and take. When you're employing people, you should be generous with your staff, and trusting them as a bit of give and take, because you will really easy. You get hardened quick, and this is from personal experience. You get hardened real quick to the losers or the lazy bastards or the ones who just don't work, and you cut them. You cut them real quick, guys. You make sure you get that dead wood out of your organization because they can damage the culture really quick. 1-2 weeks gone. That's my advice. We became really hard-nosed over the years, and I guess you just grow into that as running a business. Getting a few people screw you over, working for you, oh yeah, you become a bastard. It's funny to watch people at university who I met who were like full-on hippie green lefty dudes. Oh yeah. Then you see him a few years later going, oh, that guy was a bastard. I had to fire him. I'm getting sick and tired of these staff screwing me over. He stole this stuff from my business. And I go, there you go, mate. Welcome to grown-up world. Anyway. So, but there is one element Catherine Blackham has not yet been able to make stick. Even as more companies start to shut their doors to boost productivity, most people do it on Friday and not Wednesday, she said. So, there you go. Interesting take. They're not really reducing their hours. They're just compressing them. And that makes a lot of sense. If you've got less time to do something, because your work will expand to the time you have to fill it. If you have less time to do it, you get it done in that less time. Or you work extra hours. It forces you to be more efficient. I'm not a fan of the open plan design anymore. It's just the noise in these type of... I mean, look at all the hard surfaces here. You get noise reverberating here. You need some baffles there. Anyone wearing earphones? Let's have a look if she had an earphone rule. Because there we go. He's got them. I got rid of the earphone rules. I wouldn't allow people to do that. It got too distracting. I had to pay attention. Or even, I one ear in at a time so you can answer phones. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? Have you experienced this? Or are you working in an environment where you have that flexibility anyway? I mean, is this an award-winning concept? What about the idea of the government? The government stepping in to manage it. That's gonna... Yeah, I don't like that idea at all. And, do you really think there aren't people working from home on Wednesday? Let me know what you reckon, guys. Have you done this with your staff? Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to help us produce more content, I have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. We also have the ability for you to join the channel, where you get badges and emojis that you can use in the chat. We have affiliate links with Independent Reserve for your crypto trading, Amazon and eBay for your consumer purchases. This is a great way where we receive a small commission that doesn't cost you a cent for you to help support content creators. We have our very own merch, handmade pocket squares that we sell on the HeiseSays website, link down below. And finally, we have a PayPal if you want to make a direct donation. Have a great day, everyone, and I will talk to you all later. Bye for now.